one of the things that's always driven me nuts about managing infrastructure through Git or version control system and using methodologies like GitOps is the read layer, right? Like it's great, we can type in some configuration, push it up, and some stuff rolls out, but every developer ends up with an AWS key so they can hop in and read and learn about their applications and their configurations, look things up, right? Or they bolt on just a ton of tools. And so, with Massdriver, one of the things we really focused on from the get-go is like we wanted to give a really nice read presentation to your configurations in various ways throughout the system. And so, you might want to look at your application's database and look at a configuration, right? And so, how do you do that today? You kind of just Git diffing, you're looking at PRs, you have to know what refs it was in, you're Git blaming, right? And if that repo's been restructured over the years, like that becomes even harder, right? And that's just one repo. You likely have, repos for your networks managed by your network team, and maybe a repo of clusters managed by your SRE team. And then you have your repo that's got your Helm charts and your Terraform for deploying your databases and your queues and whatnot. And so, the platform really gives this ability to see all of your stuff in one place and then be able to hop in and look at a configuration quickly. I can see something's rolling out right now. I can come in here, I can view the details of what's being rolled out, see what this current configuration is. I'm curious, hey, what's changed about this? I can literally just grab any 2 points in time. So I can just grab the configuration from 20 minutes ago, the one that's rolling out right now, hit compare, and I can see that the read replicas were reset on this one. So it looks like somebody was kind of downgrading this cluster. They're getting rid of some read replicas, they're changing the backup retention period, they're switching it over to a serverless instance. This is a staging environment. Maybe they're trying to save some money. But I can see that configuration right from there, right? And you can also do this at the environment level, right? So sometimes you want to see what the differences are between staging and production. You can hit this plus button here, grab the staging environment, grab the production environment, and compare this entire thing side by side, right? And so, where this really gets useful is when you're trying to troubleshoot something that's going on with an application, right? Like your application, maybe it hasn't been deployed in a couple of weeks, but all of a sudden it's experienced an issue. Nothing's changed about the app, hasn't been deployed, right? It's got to be something about the environment that it's in. Maybe a database configuration changed, right? And now you're going from one Git repo to another repo to look at those configuration changes over there, maybe for the Kubernetes cluster and the network. And in Massdriver, you can kind of look at that all in one place. You can see those configuration changes over time. You can also see like what your dependencies and the dependencies of your dependencies are. So it makes it really easy to kind of come in, see that something's changed that's related to your application, hop in there and look at those configs. And you can even do this across entire environments, right? So if I had something working in staging, but it wasn't working in production, I could just do a diff. I can see, in my staging environment, I have budgets turned on, but not in production. Oh, maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why I'm not getting my alarms, right? You can see that I've also got smaller instance sizes in staging, right? I mean, you can get an idea of what's different about these two environments. And now, if I see maybe this configuration that's rolling out, maybe we're trying to save money on staging, but we also know that our staging workloads are high. So I need to go back in here and maybe make a change. It's very easy to kind of come back in and be able to roll back to previous points in time, right? And so I can just click on the View Details button here, and boom, I can hit the Prepare Rollback button here. It'll set that configuration back to what it previously was, and then I can say, rolling back changes for cost savings. Right, put a little message in there, hit deploy, and now I've reverted it back, right? So now, as a developer, I'm able to come in and manage my infrastructure. It's got all the constraints my ops team's put on it. I can start to do some of my day two, troubleshooting on my own, looking at these configurations quickly without me having to get blamed across a bunch of different Git repos, hopping around, looking at different configurations, trying to figure out what's changed about my environment, and I can roll back within a number of seconds. Sweet.